Hey guys, bachphotography here, and today we're looking at how to take black and white portraits. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell so you can keep up to date with all of my latest videos. So today we are with model Hope Ellen, and I'll leave a link in the description if you're interested in seeing more of her work. And in the description I'm also going to leave all the raw files for this photo shoot in case you would like to edit along or just want to edit some of these photos in your spare time. And I'm also going to leave in the description a link to all the camera equipment I used if you're interested in checking that out as well. So in this video we're going to be looking at this photo in particular, and we're going to go over all the camera equipment I used, all the camera settings that were used when I took this photo in particular. Then we're going to talk about the time that we took the photos for this photo shoot. We're going to look at why I chose the camera settings that I chose, and then we're going to jump into Photoshop and do all of the editing on this image as well. So first of all, the lighting. We decided to shoot this photo shoot about 30 minutes before it went dark, and that's because that is when the sun is in the lowest position in the sky. And when the sun is in the lowest position in the sky, the light from the sun diffracts in the atmosphere much softer than it would if the sun was higher up in the sky, and it also means that you get much nicer highlights and shadows in your image. So shooting at golden hour doesn't only give you beautiful golden light when you're doing photos in color, but it also means that you get a really great light pattern in your images even when you're using black and white. So that means you're going to have beautiful soft highlights and shadows on your model, which are the most aesthetically pleasing light conditions for portraits. Now we decided to position the sun behind Hope so that we have a beautiful lighting condition in the background of the image and also a nice rim light on Hope's hair. So if you shoot with the sun behind your subject, it means that the hair is going to be illuminated by the light, and it also means that you're going to get, at low apertures, beautiful blurry light blobs in the background, which makes the image more creamy and beautiful. Now I personally think that this particular photo actually looks better in color than it does in black and white, but using black and white can be a great way of masking poor lighting conditions, especially poor color balance in an image. Now, if you don't have very good control over the lighting that is in a particular scene, for example, if you're shooting indoors and all the lights are very yellow, then using black and white can be a really great way of making beautiful images that aren't being ruined by bad color. So the equipment I used on this particular photo was a Sony a7R II, and I used an MC11 adapter by Sigma so that I could use my Sigma Canon lenses on my Sony camera, and I used a Sigma 50mm f1.4 non-art lens. And the camera settings I used in my camera for this photo was a aperture of f1.4, a shutter speed of 1/200th of a second, and an ISO of 100. So let's talk a little bit about those settings. I decided to shoot at an aperture of f1.4 because it really blows out the background and gives some great separation between your model and the background of the image. It also creates really beautiful creamy backgrounds, and I think with backlit photos during golden hour, even in black and white, this creates a really beautiful dreamy feel to the image. I decided to shoot at a shutter speed of 1/200th of a second because that is plenty fast enough for me to shoot handheld, but still slow enough to allow me to get lots of light into my sensor because it was just coming up to the end of golden hour with this photo and it was starting to get a little bit dark. So I shot at an ISO of 100 because that is the native ISO of my Sony camera, and that means that I get the most sharp and lowest noise image out of my camera, and it means that my photo has the most dynamic range possible and also the highest fidelity signal to the sensor of my camera. So now I've talked about all of that, let's jump into Photoshop and have a look at the editing process of this image. Okay, so now we're in Camera Raw. If you didn't get Camera Raw when you opened your image, you can go to Filter and then Camera Raw and you'll appear in this window. So the first thing we're doing here is adding some clarity to the entire image, just dropping these shadows a little bit and adding a little bit of exposure and also some contrast as well to get some more depth in the highlights and the shadows. Next thing we're going to do is just drop the saturation all the way down to 0 so that we have a black and white image. The next thing we're going to do here is just add a little bit of exposure and then clarity as well to the eyes, just to make them pop a little bit more as they are the main focus point of this image. So when you're shooting portraits, the thing that should be sharp is the eyes, because the eyes are what people are drawn to the most when they are looking at a person or a portrait of a person. So next thing we're going to do here is just add a little bit of shadow and blacks to her hair, just to make her hair a little bit more three-dimensional and add some depth into these shadows. The thing with black and white is you want to make the highlights brighter and the shadows darker than you would in a color photo, just to make the image look more stand outish and also just have a little bit more depth. So what we're doing here is we're going to use the brush tool as a masking tool by dropping the blacks, the shadows and the exposure all the way down to the bottom, just so we can see exactly where we are pressing on the image. So once we've got a mask of where we would like to change some of the parts of the photo, we can then remove all of those changes we just made, and then we'll have an exact idea of the selection we've made with the brush tool. So what I'm doing here is just masking all of the parts of her skin, which I'm going to make a little bit smoother. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the clarity tool just to drop the clarity down a little bit and do a rough smoothing of the skin. So I'm making sure here not to go over any contrasting lines, just because I want to keep those nice and sharp. So things like her nose, her eyebrows, all that sort of thing, just to make sure that they stay nice and sharp and the image looks nice and sharp. So just dropping the clarity down a little bit. Don't want to go too far with this, or her skin will start looking a little bit strange. But this is a great way that you can do a quick smoothing of the skin before you go into native Photoshop and get rid of all the blemishes. So the next thing we're going to do here is just add a little bit of clarity and drop the shadows a little bit so that we can make Hope's lips pop a little bit more in the image. And I just want to show you here that even in black and white, if you change the color temperature of your image, it actually drastically changes which parts of your image are light and which are dark. So sometimes it's nice to just play with the color balance sliders a little bit, even in black and white, to find a nice lightness and darkness to the different parts of the image which you think are important. So the last thing we're going to do here in Camera Raw is just add a little bit more brightness to the corner of the image, just so that her hair can be a little bit brighter on the right of Hope's face, and just to add a little bit more three-dimensional effect to the image. So that's everything we're going to do in Camera Raw. Now let's jump into native Photoshop, and we're going to just finish off the image with a little bit of blemish removal and a few other things like that. So here I'm just using the patch tool and the content aware deletion just to make a circle around any blemishes that I don't like, and then just press the delete button and it will do a content aware fill and remove any of those blemishes. Now Hope's skin was actually really good. When you're shooting with a 40 megapixel camera, you're always going to be able to see a few blemishes on someone's skin, so just removing them with the patch tool to make the skin perfectly smooth makes the image more flattering. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is go to the filter tab and click liquify, and we're just going to make Hope's hair a little bit more full. So I find that just doing a little bit of hair stretching in a portrait can really make a huge difference to how aesthetically pleasing a portrait is. So you've got to be careful not to go too far with this. You don't want to make someone's hair look like a lion's mane, but just adding a little bit more fullness to a model's hair can really make a massive difference to the final product. So here's a little before and after. As you can see, it really does make a huge difference. So that's everything for this image. I really hope you liked this video. Please like and subscribe if you did, and remember, all the images are going to be in the description, and all of the camera equipment I used is also going to be in the description as well if you're interested in checking that out. So once again, thank you very much for watching.